All right, YouTube, we are back. We are in Indiana, actually. We're like 15 minutes outside of Cincinnati, Ohio. Literally just crossed into the border at Michael Wilson's house. We've talked about him before, my buddy up in Indiana. He's got a few Cobalts here for a good reason. We'll talk about that in a second. As you can see, we'll show you his Goblin for a second too. But right now, the car behind me, he's actually getting rid of that. So I'm going to show you guys that really fast. All right, guys, so here's the Cobalt. It is an SS. Michael will tell you all about it.
Yeah, this was going to be the first owner, but the thing was so nice, I thought I'd save it for my son. And, well, one thing led to another, and he was not a fan of a Cobalt, I'll say. This thing has 88,000 miles on it. Has the Stage 3 bar sensors on it, and it runs great.
It is super clean.
I originally bought it and was going to use it as a donor and kind of struggled with the thought of even taking it all apart, but now that I'm into the Goblin, well, it's worth taking apart. And, but my son doesn't want it. I ended up buying another. As you can see, we have 3 Cobalts in here now, all SS's. But I'm ready to sell this one. It's and it runs great, drives great. $7,000, and it's ready for you.
I think anybody that likes Cobalts, you guys know that $7,000 for a car that has how many miles?
87,000.
87,000. That's pretty good. And I can tell you, it doesn't look like it's been modded at all. I mean, it is a clean stock Cobalt. The interior's good on it. I'll show you the interior really fast. Clean little car. Anyways, hit me up though, and I'll give you contact information on Michael if you're interested in looking at it. It makes me want to buy it. It's cheap.
I'll fix you up.
He'll fix you up. Anyway, so like I said, he's got the other Cobalts here. There's a reason for that. We'll get to that in a second. Very exciting.
But let's check out the car.
Yeah, let's let Michael show you what he's got going on. God, I thought my tires were wide.
Tom, I told you, you bought pizza cutters.
Look at this. So the front tires, what width?
These are 295, Tom.
295, and he went with 315s in the rear.
Now take a look on the inside here too, and look at the clearance. And I have no spacers on these, Tom. And I think that's what a lot of people would like to see, you know, that I'm not running an 1.5 inch spacer to clear everything.
Which is spectacular. He's done pretty much new on everything and had everything painted. He owns has a couple of painters on staff here at his factory, but he has just done a killer job. I mean, everything is immaculate. LDK engine, crate engine.
New transmission.
God, look at that steering wheel. That looks so good. I was really iffy on that, but when I saw it in person, man, it is amazing.
It's going to be classic, and did the NRG, doing the same one that you're doing there. And so you got the quick release. I went with the thinner model just because this, with the spacer on it, I think this is pushing it out about 1.5 inches, and a lot of these are about a 3-inch push. So it's I guess personal option, you know, but that's just what I went with. If
you put your hand on the steering wheel, it's super convenient because it keeps it close to the actually turn lever. So it's like driving an actual, you know, stock car. Yeah. Like, it feels good. It's natural. It's not like awkward or anything.
Another thing, when people were putting it together, and I didn't see anything on the video originally there, but you do need to cut this housing off, and this is some tough stuff. I'll say that. Also, when you go to change when you're taking all this apart to paint everything, I noticed that, and I've noticed a number of people, these break off. And so the heads break off, but typically you have threads that are sticking out. I just grabbed mine with a good pair of vice grips that had a lot of bite to it, and I backed the screw out from the back side, and then I just put some new fasteners and Loctited them in.
If the guys watching right now, they watch one of my old videos, I broke mine. Okay. Actually. So I had to drill and tap it out.
Okay. I just grabbed it from the back side where the threads, and I had some really good vice grips that had some really good gnarl to it, or a good bite to it, and was able to extract it from the backside.
Man.
And just a thought.
He did these custom pedals that look really good. The engine, I mean, the LDK block. You know, I'm happy I saved $2,000 because my wife that's over there would have killed me. But
sure looks clean on it.
man, it's so bad. I mean, it makes like 10 more horsepower stock than the original Cobalt engine too.
And this is from DF Goblin too. This was the one of the last 5-speeds they had, the F35s with the LSD in it.
Now, do you have any of those left?
I don't have any with the LSD, but I did buy about 10 transmissions from Lonnie and Adam. I did a big bulk buy, and I think I have 3 left of the, but they're not, like I said, they're not the limited slip differentials in them. And
guys, something else too. If you need any Cobalt parts, Michael might be your guy to hit up because he has a lot of
parts,
them.
But also our friend Max. You know,
yeah. Oh
all
yeah.
he does is parts out Cobalt.
So Max actually helped me take out my engine, and he already knew Michael, and we had not even met yet. So
To give you an idea, I got
Max got a little bit of everything.
I got extra L&F axles. I got a couple extra steering systems because we stripped down another one out back. I got extra master cylinder. Got multiple overflow tanks. Oh, here's another, whole steering system right here that's ready to be broken down for a steering system. And ultimately, we're going to get to what you said. Talk about the surprise.
Oh yeah,
something coming out. Community. I've been listening.
Oh man, it's coming, guys. It's coming. Well, anyways, we're gonna go back here and show you guys the surprise that's coming. So get ready. Gosh, look at that. His car's gonna be beautiful. I don't want to go to car shows with him because people are just gonna look at his and not mine.
Should we show them how the tight drilling piece?
Oh yeah.
We got a piece.
So instead of doing a snap ring, or not snap ring, but rib nuts, we're just threading the tubes. Michael's got a cool little tool.
I want to show. Yeah, it's really neat. This is it's a drill and a tap. Don't buy it on Amazon. And I did try that, and they break after like one use. This came from Fastenal. Tom, you can give them the part number. I gave you that bag.
Yep.
That's got it on there. In these tight spaces though, and that's what a lot of people say, how are you going to get this thing tapped? And this is a quality, piece here. And I know they make some of these that are really cheap, but I've tried some other ones, and when it's really under pressure, it's not one to do it.
So yeah, Michael gave me the part number for that, and you can basically just drill out your holes just like that and use his little tool that you got. And they're all threaded. I mean, it's like to 6 mil too. So you're gonna have 6 mil bolts all the way down, holding that, holding this back his engine cover back there.
And it came from Fastenal is where I purchased this at.
This is the part number?
Yeah, part number looks like 03123-193 from Fastenal.
Yep, there you go, guys. Clean. It's way better than rib nuts or whatever. It's just, rib nuts are just, I don't know. I'd rather do this, in my opinion. Do what you want. Nothing wrong with rib nuts, I don't guess. But
I'm going to show them these things when you get home at your place, or?
Oh, it doesn't matter. So Michael came up with these. So yeah, go ahead and just explain.
This right here is up on your brake booster. This is a barb to barb here, 1/2 inch in here, and this is down to 1/4 inch. So instead of sticking the hose up in there and then tighten it down, was just going for a cleaner look. Now obviously you won't have these spring clamps. These are just some extra ones I was giving Tom for something else, but kind of gives you the idea. This was the other piece. This came off of a bicycle handle, but it sure does fit the, well, it fits the master cylinder here. Right on the bottom there. I cut that and then cut it in half. I said, there's one for Tom and one for me. This just a piece of plastic, that vacuum line that Lonnie gives you. And I just used it to cover the screw. I was just, I knew Tom was coming up, and I was just trying to clean it up.
So he's basically machined this part, and then the bottom part, he cut one of these in half, and it just fit, the curvature just fit perfectly. So
yeah, it was a bicycle handlebar extension piece is what it was. And I thought, what would really look nice too, if it was like one of those old BMX ones that was nice and square, but it was rounded, and then you would have a block for here and a block for down here, they both would be rounded. But the way this piece came out, look how that little curvature, it was
it's just perfect.
It was just made for it. So
it was. There you go. But yeah, that's something you guys should do. The barb fitting that he's talking about, that's for the brake booster. Like, I'll be clear on this. So, you know, what they have you do is put like a rubber hose in another rubber hose and then use a clamp. This actually uses the hose on the barb fitting, and then you clamp there, and you go to your down to your smaller size hose and clamp down here. Much better. I mean, it's clean, no leaks. I think it'll just be a much better idea. And plus, this is like 50 cents or something, you know. So no reason not to do that. All right, let's go show them. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Let's do it. Tom, you ready?
Yep, I'm ready. Go ahead.
I'll tell you what, I've listened and read so many posts on the wiring harnesses, and I've talked with Adam and Lonnie, and worked with Lonnie numerous times. And as you can see looking around, I mean, we specialize in electronics and cabling and really in the medical industry for hospital beds, for restorations. And at first I was like, oh, we're gonna lay one out and, you know, make one quickly. Not that it's never gonna be quick, but after really just loving the car, loving the community, and seeing kind of one of the biggest downfalls and the hardest, the most difficult part for the car is a new wiring harness. So imagine you go out and you buy a donor car, and either right now your option is work through the process, and I know some people have definitely done it, but it's probably the most challenging part about building the car. So we're working with another tech out of actually Arizona, and one of our engineers here, and we're developing the new harnesses for the Goblin. So whether it's automatic, manual, base model, supercharged, turbocharged, we'll need to know the year and the configuration. Our idea is to produce the whole thing as a plug and play solution for you. So some people who I've read are trying to do it without buying a car. And the reality is what do you need from the car? The ECM, the BCM, the fuse box. A lot of the other things you could buy from a junkyard and other markets, but one of the big things you need the donor for is the whole wiring harness. So and it's a lot of work, as everybody knows who's done it. Just to take the whole entire wiring harness out is a feat. So our idea is we've looked at a lot of the connectors are running lead times of 20 weeks, 30 weeks to get some of these connectors. Some of them have minimal buys of 200, 500. So we're taking an approach of says, we'll come up with enough connectors. This is a base model here to produce the whole harness. And we could go to salvage yards, we could clip some connectors, get them where they're complete, and then send it out, and then have an exchange program. So instead of you having to remove the entire harness, you go along and you cut the pigtails. You cut the pigtails for us, and then you can send them back in after you receive your harness. Is really one concept. If you're like, hey, I just don't have it, I bought pieces off the internet, we'll also have a price that reflects you not sending in the connectors. Some of the connectors long-term are readily available, relatively long lead times, but some of the more difficult ones are the ECM and the BCM, especially the BCM connector when you get into the turbocharged versions. So that is something that will definitely, unless we have the ability to tool it up, we've talked about even having the ability of drawing them up and actually 3D printing some of these connectors, but we haven't done that yet. We're just kind of working through the process now. But here, as of about a week ago, the harness designs are done, and here in the next few weeks, we're going to start populating the first proof of concepts, you know, that we have everything done. We've done a lot of work going through all data and using the Mitchell manuals to kind of vet out every version and every model. And there are a number of issues and errors within manuals that, you know, we've been finding. So but just to let the community know, it's coming, you know. And I know I always read posts about people who says, man, the wiring harness is probably the most difficult part of the whole process, and a lot of hours to tear it down, to strip it down, and to rework it. And so that's the big surprise, Tom.
Yeah, so Michael's not ready to release pricing, but we have discussed some stuff, and he said he's going to try to make it very
fair. Oh yeah, it's going to be fair. Everybody's going to be happy. I assure you. You know, I mean, and Lonnie and Adam, they're both aware that we're working on this. We haven't said anything through any post, but you know, I've been working with Tom here for the last 6 months and talking and visiting and building a friendship. So I said, hey, let's let it be known on YouTube.
Then I assure you there's no bad blood also. I want to make that clear with DF. They are cool with this.
Yes,
he talks to them all the time. And as far as resources, I assure you he has them. He's actually, and he's all in. He's you've hired your own engineer?
We have one engineer on staff here for it, and we've also hired another person who is the Goblin owner, who's on the farm. I won't drop his name, but who's been really diligently working on it. He does a lot of posting on there. Some people probably can figure out pretty quickly who it is, but I didn't even tell him I was dropping this today. So, but we do have some great support to finish this project.
So it's definitely coming, and I'm telling you, it's going to be a game changer because everybody knows the wiring harness is the worst part of the whole car.
Yeah,
it's terrible. So, I mean, look at this table. You want any part of that?
No,
you know,
they don't want to do that.
You don't want any part of that.
You want to plug and play?
You don't. Yeah, you want to plug and play. It's the easier option. But anyways, thank you for that, and thank you for telling everybody about it. And we may have another surprise coming. I'm not going to say anything. It's a possibility. We'll see. But anyways, yeah, look forward to this, and we'll give you more updates whenever we hear more from this guy.